Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. Tony, we got a new deal. Are you excited to host many more years of PTI?
Tony Kornheiser, I haven't hosted in years. You're looking at an AI simulation.
AI. Oh, see, I still think of Allen Iverson when I hear AI.
No.
I
don't look like Allen Iverson.
No, but I know you loved Allen Iverson more than you loved artificial intelligence.
Yeah, I don't have any respect for artificial intelligence. I have enough problem having regular intelligence myself. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, J.J. McCarthy gets it done. The Dodgers almost throw a no-hitter again, and Jeff Saturday joins us for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with your Chicago Bears, Wilbon.
Yeah.
They lost at home to Minnesota. They gave up 21 points in the fourth quarter, blowing a 17-6 lead. The Bears had 12 penalties in Ben Johnson's coaching debut, including 4 false starts in the first half. Caleb Williams, who started hot, finished with 8 for 19 and 87 yards in the second half. Wilbon, what happened? And did you see anything that gives you confidence in what lies ahead for your Bears?
Tony, having stayed awake angrily after this game until about 4:30 this morning, I've run the whole gamut of emotions and reactions here. In the first 3 to 4 hours, I was angry and thought they were just like headed for doom. The whole season was a waste of time. That's how I felt. And then listening to people, including Jeff Saturday, who we'll have later, my own brother Don, who said, wait a minute, they played really well for 3 quarters. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater, as we used to say. You got to pay some attention to that. It's Ben Johnson's debut. Caleb has to get rid of old habits first. Matt Eberflus, thank you. It takes a while and not preseason time to adjust to these things, the line to him, to each other, the false starts, all of it. Ben Johnson's play calling, which was soft late in the game to me. So there's still, Tony, they did some things well, but ultimately they did not knock out a rookie quarterback making his first start. And that still angers me when I get back to it. So I'm thinking they'll get better. They will get better. I just don't know how soon. I think it's going to take a while.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't look at a Bears game with the eyes that you look at it. I wasn't a fan for 60 years. I mean, I'm familiar with the franchise. I look at it with far less passion. I remember watching the first half and thinking that Caleb Williams was doing very well. I'm pretty sure he completed his first 10 passes. At that point, it looked to me that he was making the leap from rookie to second-year quarterback. The Bears at that point were comfortably ahead. When they got the pick 6, I thought they would win the game comfortably. But Caleb Williams did not have a good second half at all. He missed wide-open targets. He probably held the ball a little bit too long. So I watched with interest today, as you did as well, the morning shows. And I heard a sort of a consensus among football players, former football players, that Caleb Williams in the second half reverted to what he was doing last year.
Yep.
And so I thought to myself, well, wait a second. He was the number 1 overall pick in the draft. If you're telling me there's a book on Caleb Williams and last year wasn't good and he reverted to that this year, then I would think maybe you have to wonder, if you're a Bears fan, is he indeed the great quarterback going forward? But like you, Mike, I don't want to make a judgment after one game with a rookie coach with a brand new system. I just wonder if anybody's saying, we could have taken Jaden Daniels.
No,
we could have done that.
We're not saying
and we didn't do that.
We're not saying that. He's got to be deprogrammed from the Eberflus era first, Tony, and then Ben Johnson. Let me just mention this, and you're familiar with both these people, because when you used to travel, you were there in their faces on Sunday after their games. I'll mention 2 coaches and their starts. A guy named Joseph Gibbs went 0-5 in his first year on the way to 4 Super Bowls, 3 of them victorious. And a guy named Bill Walsh went 0-7 on his way to 3 Super Bowls, and I don't think he lost any. So I know it's tough to put Ben Johnson in that category just yet. All I'm saying, it takes time is my point. It takes, and by the way, it's not just Caleb. The defense got shoved and hit in the mouth in the fourth quarter. They couldn't stop a nosebleed in the fourth quarter. So, that group has a lot to worry about, too, just as much as Caleb. Let's move quickly to J.J. McCarthy. At least he's a good son of Chicago. In his first ever NFL start after missing all of last season, playing in his hometown, the Vikings quarterback struggled in the first half, But down the stretch, particularly in the fourth quarter, McCarthy threw 2 touchdowns, ran for another, got the team, the Vikes, a win. Tony, what does last night tell you about McCarthy specifically, easy for me to say, and the Vikes?
Okay, so Minnesota was a good team last year. They were a playoff team last year. They must think that this kid is very special because they let their quarterback, Sam Darnold, walk. They let him walk. And they handed the team over to a kid who had never played a single down in the NFL. In the first half, his first half was no better than Caleb Williams' second half. It wasn't. But really late in the game, fourth quarter, he was great. As you say, passing touchdown, rushing touchdown. He won the game. Caleb Williams is at home in a division game with a big lead, and he couldn't close. J.J. McCarthy closed that game out. I watched him in Michigan, Mike. I was never really wowed.
Never.
I didn't think he was as good as Caleb Williams. I didn't think he was as good as Jaden Daniels. I didn't think he was as good as Bo Nix. I did not. But he doesn't lose games. He's now, it's only one game in the NFL, but college in the NFL, his record is 28-1. It's 64-3, I believe, if you add his high school time in the Chicago area. So that reminds me, Mike, honestly, of Jalen Hurts. Not a flashy arm, not great statistics, not anything where you go crazy, but he wins all the time. And wouldn't you rather have the W?
Tony, yes. And I tell you what else impressed me most about J.J. McCarthy was his calm. You throw that pick six, and a lot of guys fall apart at that point. And he didn't. The evidence is that he didn't. There was immediate evidence as he went up and down talking to players. It was great. Jeff Saturday said, I think this morning, that, a lot of times linemen, you don't want to see. No, Troy Aikman said this last night. Linemen don't want to see you after you have thrown a pick six telling them to calm down. It's going to be all right. So it was a great point. He was calm. There was a poise about him. He is clearly well coached and was well coached in his redshirt year. See, Caleb Williams didn't have that. So in a way, J.J. McCarthy's got an advantage. McCarthy was well coached last year in prep for this season. Caleb Williams starting over, and last night was his debut in many ways as well. But J.J. McCarthy's got an edge there. The Vikings weren't just good last year. The Vikings won 14 games last year.
Yeah, this is an important point to make. J.J. McCarthy didn't join a team that had just lost 12 games.
That's right.
He joined a good team. He joined a coach who is now, let me get the number, 27-9 in one-score games. That is a tremendous record. And he became, look, it could fall apart next week, but he became the first guy to, in his rookie debut at quarterback, win a game by being down 10 or more in the fourth quarter. The first guy to do that since Steve Young in 1984.
40 years
Come
ago.
on, let's move.
Wow.
Yeah, let's move to baseball. And the bizarre coincidence of Dodgers pitchers taking a no-hitter into the ninth inning in 2 games of their last 3. The first one they lost with 2 outs in the ninth. They lost Yamamoto's no-hitter, then lost the game to Baltimore. Last night, Tyler Glasnow carried a no-hitter through 7. The bullpen held it through 8, then gave up a leadoff double in the ninth to Colorado, but they won the game. Wilbon, maintains the Dodgers' 1-game divisional lead over the Padres, who won last night in 10. What, if anything, is truly at stake in the race for the NL West?
Well, Tony, it entirely depends on how you look at it. And because this involves my Cubbies, I have skin in the game. And when I'm angry because they've lost or the Bears have lost, I stay up and watch the Padres and Dodgers, even when the games are all the way west. And what is at stake here is the wild card team, the second-place finisher, is likely to have to play 3 games at Wrigley in the playoffs to start the playoffs, while the division winner gets a bye. Now, I would like to see my team I'm okay with the wild card. They're not going to catch Milwaukee, and having 3 games at Wrigley in the byes is fine. Keep playing, because the team with the bye doesn't always get it done. But the Dodgers are equipped. I don't want my team there because I don't think they're ready for the pressure of division winner expectations. You guys are supposed to move on. The Cubs aren't ready for that. The Dodgers are. I don't think the Padres are ready for that either. So, therefore, I'd like to see the Padres in that 3-game series in Chicago if it goes 3. But I think the Dodgers should hold on to first place. That's what's at stake.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not so involved in that division race that it matters to me that much. The Dodgers are going to make the playoffs. The Padres are going to make the playoffs. The Giants may make the playoffs from that same division. And what's great as a fan is that the Padres and the Dodgers absolutely hate each other. And that's good. But, the Padres are a really good team. I just want to step back and say this one thing to you. Yamamoto and Glasnow gave up 1 hit in 15 2/3 innings. Is that something I could interest you in? Because the Dodgers can hit. Everybody knows the Dodgers can hit. They're second in runs in the National League to the Brewers. They're first in OPS. They're first in home runs. But what if they can pitch? Mike, I think if they're starting pitching, and it would include those two, it would include Ohtani, and it would include Clayton Kershaw. If they pitch, I think they repeat as World Series champions. I do.
Well, Tony, they've had a lot of injuries, and it's interesting to see if people can hold up all year. And I do watch the Dodgers closely, and I love that division largely because of what you just talked about. The Dodgers and Padres hate each other, and it is theater.
Yes.
Now, I don't want to see them both advance. I want to see one of them go out in the first round, obviously. But, Tony, it's fascinating. There is something at stake, and the approach, what they have to do, the wild card team, makes it even more fascinating to see if they will advance. It really does.
All right, let's take a break. Coming up, is spitting on a football field more common than we think? We will ask Jeff Saturday about that.
We'll also ask him why Penei Sewell struggled so much against Micah Parsons. Because both of them are going to the Hall of Fame. That's why.
All right, I made a mistake. The Steve Young game was in 1985, not 84, but it's still 40 years.
40 years ago.
Marco.
Let's get into the NFL trenches with our great friend, ESPN NFL analyst, and our pal, Jeff Saturday. Let's start with this. Lions right tackle, Penei Sewell, struggled against Micah Parsons. What did you see there, and is there anything you would recommend to Sewell for the next matchup?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. You don't see Sewell struggle very often. I mean, he's one of the best right tackles in the game. I will tell you the situation they were in, being down significantly, always makes it more difficult. And now you got a fresh Micah Parsons with a back injury that you're going to have to go face, makes it hard. But when you're where you are with Detroit and having the new coaching staff and all that, you can't get beat inside, right? If you're going to get beat, at least make them run the hump, make them chase your quarterback, getting those flashes and making Goff reset his feet. Cost him 1 interception, just a tough day to Sewell. He'll rebound next time they play.
All right, I'm going to try to go to last night's game without expletives. That holding call, Jeff, against Darnell Wright was a game changer in many ways. I am still angry about this. Do I have reason to be?
Absolutely. You trying to make me cuss too, because it was a terrible call. Like, I mean, he traps him down, open hand, puts his face in the dirt. We're all taught as offensive linemen, when a guy's trying to drive into you, especially on the outside, if he's trying to just keep driving you, you just trap him down. Use his force and his weight against him. He's unbalanced, so use that to your advantage. And a referee clearly sees there was no full yank. He just basically trapped him. And we all use that technique. And again, it finishes the bull rush quite a bit. I was disappointed in the call. I think, Aikman agreed. We all agree.
Yes.
And it was a game changer. And I'll say this about it. The problem for me was the Bears allowed that play to snowball into Caleb making a dumb play on, on the intentional grounding, right? Then Santos misses the field. So all of that transpired at the very end of the third quarter. But you can't let one bad play turn into a bunch of bad ones. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what they did.
Well, let's get to a bunch of bad ones. 4 false start penalties. This is the same garbage we watched in the Eberflus era and probably in the Nagy era before that. Jeff, you did this. You lined up thousands of snaps in your life. Why do the Bears, particularly since we're talking about them, have so many false start penalties even now under a new coach?
I honestly have no idea. And I'll be honest with you, I remember Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator for us for so many years there in Indianapolis and a Hall of Famer. He used to tell us, men, if you can't get the snap count right, we're going to go on one. And everybody in the business is going to know when you're going to go. And they'll have the same advantage that you think you carry. It is a weapon, and you need to weaponize the snap count. And if you're too dumb to figure out the snap count, we need to find somebody else. And it really is that simple. I mean, I hate to say it that way. This isn't like somewhere on the road where you can't hear anything. You're at home. You have everything going in your favor. You have to find focus, listen to that snap count, and then tell guys around you, hey, let's use it as a weapon to get them off sides. Make them slow down the rush. Use it for our advantage when we're run blocking. But very disappointing. And again, I know part of it is early in the season, but that's day one stuff. Like, get the snap count handled. Really disappointed in that because, again, it puts you behind the chains with a quarterback and a new play caller. It's tough to overcome.
We have missed you. You are excited. This is really good.
Right
we'll get out of here on this.
Gets right to it.
All right, so we've had spitting ejections in the pros and in college the last few days. These spits were blatant. Everybody saw them replayed 30 times. Does this seem way out of line to you, or does spitting go on under the radar quite frequently?
No, it's disgusting, and it does not go under the radar. I don't understand it. I mean, honest to God, like, first of all, I would never spit on somebody else, but how do people keep their head in that situation? Like, it leads to all kinds of nonsense. That's just, it's way out of bounds for what we do for a living, right? We're all there to perform for our team, to take money home for our families, all of those things. And you're getting so bent out of shape that you're going to go spit on another human makes absolutely no sense. And so, yeah, I got no tolerance for it. There's no like, oh, well, he should have done. No one should be doing it. I'm all for ejections the minute you see it. And honestly, I don't think I ever remember it happening except Romanowski, like years and years ago when I was playing.
Yeah.
But after that, I literally hadn't heard of that until week one of the NFL season. So terrible look for our game. Guys need to control it and end it.
Thank you, Jeff. Great pleasure to have you back. Thank you so much.
Voice of reason back on the show. Great.
Love being back with you, fellas. Fired up for this season.
Let's take one last break. Still to come, good news for the latest variation of the NFL kickoff.
And the U.S. men's soccer team gets another shot to get it together tonight.
You know, Mike, I'm surprised. I would have thought that there was a lot more spitting and we just didn't know about it. So I'm surprised to hear what Jeff said,
hear that
he's
Tony,
never seen it.
I hope it's not trending. I don't want to see spitting trending. That would be.
No,
then you got to suspend people for.
Happy time, people. Happy 25th birthday, Ricky Pearsall. The 49ers wide receiver caught 4 passes on Sunday for 108 yards in San Francisco's 17-13 victory in Seattle. Pearsall was the next to last player taken in the first round of the 2024 draft out of Florida. What makes Pearsall stand out is that he was actually shot in the chest by an assailant in a robbery attempt last August. Pearsall recovered and made his NFL debut 50 days later. In his first game, he had 3 catches for 21 yards and finished the season with 31 catches for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. This year, Pearsall is starting, and the 49ers need him because George Kittle is out for weeks.
Well, that was a big shoes to fill, and Deebo Samuel's out of town. So, I mean, this isn't important. This kid is so easy to root for me, Tony. I found myself doing that on Sunday.
Happy anniversary, Chip Kelly. On this day 12 years ago, the very successful Oregon coach made his NFL debut as coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, and Philly ran off 53 plays in a first-half blitz of Washington. The Eagles jumped out to a 33-7 lead before hanging on to win 33-27. Kelly went 26-21 with the Eagles and then had a disastrous 2-14 season with the 49ers. Kelly went back to college at UCLA for 6 quiet seasons, going 35-34. Last year, Kelly was Ryan Day's offensive coordinator on the national championship Ohio State team, and now he's offensive coordinator under Pete Carroll for the Las Vegas Raiders, who won their opener.
Tony, I think all those experiences add up to make him a wonderful candidate to do exactly what he's doing with the Raiders. Everybody talks about the Chargers and Denver. How about if the Raiders are any good with their offensive weapons and Pete Carroll? And there ain't no brain drain in Oakland. There's brain gathering, it seems to me. Did I say Oakland? You know what I meant.
Yeah. Happy trails to a blue pit for Luke Keyshaw last night. Angels shortstop Zach Neto tracked down Keyshaw's 5th inning pop-up to short center. Neto bobbled it 4 or 5 times before coming away with the catch. This highlight, while enjoyable, was not indicative of how the game went for the Angels. LA committed 4 errors. Keyshaw had 3 hits, and the Twins won 12-3.
Yeah, we're at that portion of the program where it's got to be something bizarre to get the Angels into the show. You know?
Yeah.
Once again,
we haven't mentioned them.
Irrelevant.
Other than Mike Trout. We haven't mentioned them in 5 years. Big finish. Here we go. Tiger Woods, who I know you love, posted a video of himself hitting balls on the range. Are you excited?
No, I'm excited to see Tiger Woods play golf, and I'm not expecting it anymore. The range? No. 75% more than of kickoffs were returned in week 1. I bet you're happy about that.
Yes, I'm more than satisfied. I'm more than happy. I'm thrilled by it. It's the great fun play. If you can keep it safe, keep it in the game. The Las Vegas Aces go for their 15th win in a row tonight against your Chicago Sky. Who you got?
They are mine, but it's not about who, it's about how many. 30 points, 40 points, pick what you want. U.S. men's soccer against Japan in a friendly tonight, is that significant?
I'm not the right guy for this. Last one, Giannis and Greece beat Lithuania to advance to the Eurobasket semifinals. Your thoughts?
Giannis now gets Turkey and Şengün on Friday. And Şengün is going to be even a bigger figure in this NBA season than people understand. Houston has a chance. Houston's going to be a problem.
Houston has a problem or will be a problem. We're out of time. We'll try and do better the next time. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow, Knuckleheads. You can get the podcast on the ESPN app or Apple Podcasts. And now...
PTI. Bonus segment right now.
Been patient.
All right, Wilbon. Which quarterback had the most impressive debut with a new team in week 1?
Tony, there's so many guys, there's like 8 of them. And I'm going to dismiss Ward, Wilson, and Darnold right off the top. I'm dismissing them. They can be fine. You'd like to have 1 or 2 of them, but not now. Not after this week 1.
Okay.
The real nominees are Fields, Rodgers, Jones, Smith, and McCarthy. And I'm going to get rid of Fields and Rodgers off the top because we've seen them do. Rodgers has won multiple MVPs. Justin Fields hadn't done that, but he's been spectacular. At least he was in Chicago off and on. We know what he can do. Daniel Jones is dismissed and dumped in a way that was, to me, even more embarrassing than Fields when he was dumped from his 2 teams, particularly in New York. Geno Smith, I got to say, Geno Smith and J.J. McCarthy are the 2. And because McCarthy was taking his first snap as an NFL player, don't tell me the redshirt year mattered all that much. These other guys didn't redshirt last year. J.J. McCarthy winning on the road in his hometown with all that pressure, all those eyeballs, down after 3 quarters, J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, I'm going to go down the line and not disagree really at all. I will tell you that certain things are tempting to me. Aaron Rodgers is tempting to me because, he was booted really out of New York by the Jets, and he threw 4 touchdown passes and he won a game. Justin Fields is tempting in the same game because if a 60-yard kick doesn't go, then he ends up winning the game, and he had been booted, out of a couple of teams at that point. The most tempting one to me is Daniel Jones because they left him on the side of the road.
Yeah.
They just got rid of him and said, make your own deal anywhere, but get out of here. But I agree with you that it's McCarthy. It's J.J. McCarthy because that is a division game. You are on the road. You are down in the 4th quarter, and you engineer passing touchdown, rushing touchdown, and you've never played it down before, and you're on top of the world. You close. That was Buffalo-Baltimore for the second time in the weekend.
It was.
That was great. That was great. It's McCarthy.
It was. McCarthy. See, we got unanimity. That's it.
Yeah.
We don't like that much agreement. We're done. Back to you.
Tony.